What's going on, Dreambreakers, and welcome back to DB3 MTG. I'm known as Mr. Sandman, and today we have an RCQ review video. Just played this RCQ today as I'm filming it. Played early today. It went like 7 hours, but it's fresh in my mind now, so I thought I'd go over all the matches now and kind of talk about everything right now. But as you can see on the screen, I did wind up playing through the breach. I wanted to play Eldrazi aggro that a friend was crushing with recently. Just couldn't get the sires in time. I had the caverns, but if you guys always go to my Mox field, I always tag it in the description, but my Mox field under Mr. Sandman 302, we have the deck list right here, and this is pretty much a carbon copy of what I played, like actually in paper. These two cards aren't foiled though, but everything else is foiled out. Love this deck, but you can pause if you need to and see the deck list as well here. But like I said, check my Mox field out in the description. It will always have my deck list on there and stuff like that. But yeah, this is what I decided to play. So we'll switch to Moto screen. And we have this here. Oh, I didn't get the Biscayne in there, but whatever, all good. So yeah, I just kind of sleek this deck up again. I still think it's good if the format's gonna have creature decks that don't interact with you. It's always just a very good deck to play. So round one, I get the bye, which I think, especially in smaller RCQ formats, getting a first round bye is amazing because you can go around and kind of scout. And I scouted a lot of decks. There was a wide range of decks. We had a Ponza deck there. We had a lot of energy, or a decent amount of energy. We had Affinity. We had the actual Affinity. We had Tempered Steel. I'm trying to think. We had some Amulet players. We had a Brute Scale player. Eldrazi aggro. My friend came up here and played it. I'm trying to think what else we had. Gorios, Esper, like an Esper control kind of mid-rangey deck with like Frog and stuff like that and Catcher Most. And then a bunch of other, like, I think Bono Blue Tron was in the building. A couple like random stuff living in. But yeah, I get the first round by and I scout, and I know a lot of people, and this RCQ is like down the street from me, like 2 minutes down the street. So a lot of locals that I play with on Wednesdays are here, and we got some people from St. Louis and KC area. So it's really cool to see everybody come out. But then round two, we get paired up against Amulet. And Amulet's a tough matchup. It's really hard to win. And this is local to me. He's really, really cool. And yeah, I lose a die roll. I get crushed on a die roll. I'm like, oh man, I have no shot. So game one, I'm on the draw. I believe he gets the Dryad out. And I believe he also has amulets. I think so. I think he has amulets or whatever, or either that or the 3-mana pseudo amulet. I can't think of the name of the card, but he never draws the right like bounce land. He doesn't draw the bounce land to be able to kill me, and so I'm able to just find my combo and kill him. I'm on the 6th game too, but I'm able to find my combo and kill him with through the breach, and I think it was Emrakul or something like that. Doesn't really matter. I forget. Game two, he mulls to 5. My hand was pretty solid. I think he honestly just had a very slow hand. I don't even think he had an untap effect. I had Chalice on 0, which was okay. And yeah, I just wound up comboing him off. Very kind of like not typical games, but how I comboed or I just, hope for the best, try to keep relatively fast hands or hands that interacted, and it's, fingers crossed. How I boarded for that matchup, I'm typically cutting the Cosmix returns, cutting them, cutting the Birth Engine for sure, because these cards are just really, really slow. I'm bringing in Consigns. I usually bring in Torpor Orbs. I don't think I brought them in here. But I did bring in Consigns, I did bring in Brotherhood in, I did bring in Malfunction, I did bring in Chalices, Bindings, Disruptive Flutes. I brought a lot of cards in, and I think like 1 or 2 Thought Knots here. I don't remember all the way. So I did like trim a little bit. Like I did cut like 1 or 2 stock ups, and then I did cut some of the Talismans, and I cut the Biscayne. Mostly because, again, you kind of just want to be fast. You also want to disrupt them. The reason why I don't have Torpor Orb is I think it's the same thing as kind of Consign. I did actually consign one of his, I think game one, I consigned his Titan trigger when he played it, and I untapped it because he said that he couldn't kill me with Titan anyway, but he could have besieged you my double land, but it wouldn't have mattered. I had enough mana to kill him. So honestly, stole that one. Pretty good for me. I do, it was always really good to win that game. So we're 2-0 right now. And we go into the third round with basically kind of a pseudo winning in. Because it's a 5-round tournament, you go 3-0-2, you're pretty much locked for top 8, or you're locked for top 8. So playing against Energy, another local of mine, a local guy that I know. I don't know if I said Energy, but he's on Energy. Lose the die roll again. And honestly, on the draw, my hand was okay, but opponent went extremely wide. Like, I think they had, I'm like brain dead losing my card. I know they had the Oscillate Pride. I know they had the 1/2 that gains life and creates energy. I can't think of the name right now. They had Bombardment. They had Johnny. They had which they drew off. They drew the Bombardment off of this, but they had Spyro. Pitching 2 cards, getting the card back. They had a lot of things that just ran me over really quickly. And he kind of combo killed me where he attacked with everything, sacked his 2/1 cat to the thing, flipped his Johnny, shot me before, and then sacked everything else. He killed me all in one turn. It was really, really cool. Game 2, we both kept 7. He was stuck on 2 mana for a long time. I did play a Disruptor Flute, I believe, on Molten Rain. And then just essentially got there with Breach. And I believe I 22'd him with Ulamog and Emrakul. I was going to play that game, obviously. Game 3, he mulls to 6. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. In both Game 1 and Game 2, or both Game 1, we both mulled to 6. But Game 3, we both mulled to 6, too. I know my hand was really good. I had, Double Sweeper in my hand, meaning, Cosmic's Return and Brothers Hidden, I believe. And I know for a fact I had Thought Knot Seer and I had Disruptor Flute as well. I did get a Chalice. I'm sorry, I gotta go back. I did get a Chalice game 2. I believe I wrapped his board and then played Chalice, and then him also missing lands. He couldn't play any 1-drops, and that's kind of how I slowed down to win the game. Sorry, it came down on turn 2. That's actually very important. But game 3, both will get a 6. And I know I have 2 double wrath. I think I even have Null Drifter as well. Or if not, I'm going to eventually have one or the other. No, it was Devourer. It was Devourer of Destiny later on in the game. But I'm able to, at some point, Thought Knot Seer him. I see Wrath of the Skies, Caesar Pyromancer, Molten Rain, and what is this? I think that's it. And he's on 2 lands. So I could take the Molten Rain, but it's I had a Labyrinth in play, and I had another one in hand. Or no, I had 7 drops in hand, but I didn't have another Labyrinth. But I didn't want him to chop deck a land and be able to pitch 2 cards, and draw land and start playing a whole bunch of things. And so I took the Pyromancer, leaving him with Molten Rain and Wrath in hand. I don't think he drew another land for a while. Yeah, I don't think, and he had creatures and stuff like that, and he was getting chip shots, but we wrathed. I think we got a Devourer of Destiny, wrathed. He had a Johnny and creature, the 2/1 token in play, wrathed his board again. We just wrathed a lot. I think we swept up a Ragavan and a Voice of Victory up with a bunch. We wrathed a lot, and then eventually got our combo and won 3 games, 2-1. Stealing a game on the draw. So that match was pretty easy, right? So we're pretty confident in that. And then these are not written down, but in round 4 we pair up, or second seed, we pair up against Amulet, another friend of mine. We draw there, so we'll go 3-0-1. And then round 5, my friend Jesse, I draw with him, and he's on Eldrazi aggro. And how it shakes out, if you guys are. And quick plug, if you guys follow me on DB3MTG on Instagram, DB3MTG, same thing as the channel, you will see all my updates whenever I play a tournament. I always have round by round updates on there. So yes, you guys can stay on track. But I always will post on the channel in a short that I'm at a tournament and I'm about to play and what I'm playing. So top 8, you see in my story that I end up in third. So Brood Scale is first. Amulet, the guy I drew with, is second. I'm third. Energy is second. I'm third. The guy I drew with Amulet in round 4 is fourth. I believe Jesse was fifth. Who was sixth? Oh, my opponent, my energy opponent. 7 was this guy named KK. He was on energy. And then 8th was Gorios. Gorios conceded. The 8th seed conceded to the first seed because he already had his invite. So the guy on Brute Scale goes to the next round. Everybody else plays it out. So you have energy versus energy. And then you have Amulet versus Eldrazi Aggro. And then you have me versus energy. And it's the same opponent I played in round 3. So obviously I'm going to play, which is I was happy for. That's why I decided not to play the last round, because I was going to knock my friend out, and also it didn't matter. I was still going to be top 4, so I was going to get the play for most of the event. And I don't have many notes. It honestly just looks like I steamrolled them. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I think I think that they had Ragavan game 1, maybe. I know for a fact there was one hand where I kept and being able to play helped. I had Kozilek's command, and then I had a land, and I was able to kill the Ragavan on third turn too. But yeah, basically there's not really much to these games. It's just more of just staying alive, wiping their board, and just killing them. I know for a fact that I kept drawing Rebirth Engine. Like I saw it on my Devourer in my pregame. I saw it before and put on a stock up and put it to the bottom. It was a little bit tougher. That's why my life total was at 12 both games. But we kept both 7s. But again, I think that matchup's a cakewalk. I really do. And I think I'm highly favored that match. For guys who are wondering how I sideboarded there, typically I'm not even worried about going fast. So I cut all my talismans. I cut up Beseiju. I cut the Birth Engines. And typically I'll bring in Brotherhood, and I will bring Untimely's for Molten Rain. If they play Charmaul, it's cool against a Johnny, especially if they're trying to go up so you can kill a Johnny. I'll talk about the flip the Johnny part where they do damage to you, whatever. And it can kill an artifact. I don't think there's any artifacts, but mainly also it can make things not block, which is kind of relevant if you're attacking with Ulamog. But most times it's to redirect something. Thought Knot Seers is a lot of times either 1 or 2 on the draw, and maybe up to 3 on the play. Definitely 2 on the play though. Disruptive Flute to name any trouble permanent. So if it's Goblin Bombardment, if it's you technically can name a Johnny, but that doesn't really matter all the time. Molten Rain, if they have Charmals, Flage 2, stuff like that. And then Chalice, and then Uggin's Binding. So that's how I sideboard for them. And again, I might cut a stock up here. I might cut certain things but for the most part, that's what I'm bringing in. That's what I'm picking out. If you think about it, that's at least 7 cards, 8 cards right there, right? So then, if you think about it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So then, you kind of just figure out the math on the Thought Knot Seers. But yeah, that's kind of how I sideboard for that matchup. So then, obviously, I was playing the winner of the Energy Mirror match. And KK, the guy who I played in semifinals, lost to this guy in round 4. Yes, in round 4. He actually wound up winning. So we're playing him. Obviously, we're on the play. And he didn't know what I was playing. And it's a funny interaction here because I see my life total as 20, 14, 5, 4. I think he also left some damage on the table. He also was at 33 at one point. He had double. I can't think of the stupid one drop. The 1/2. Guide of Souls. Yeah, Guide of Souls. He had 2 of them. He had a Ragavan. He had so many things. He had pumped up the gem on a Ocelot Pride. He even had City's Blessing at one point. But he didn't realize that what I was playing. So there was a time where I was surveilling and I needed to hit. I felt like I needed to hit double land. Yeah, I needed to exile. Yeah, I needed something to exile. I had Ulamog in hand. I needed something to exile. I had Ulamog and Emrakul and Through the Breach. And I just needed to hit my lands and I needed to exile something to be able, because like at this point he had so many permanents, I wasn't gonna win with 15. Like he was at 33, I needed to kill his whole board. So the last round I'm at 5 life, and I fetch, get my Thundering Falls, and I see Emrakul. And so I was like, okay, I don't need this. And so I put the Emrakul in the graveyard. I said, okay, shuffle trigger. And because he lacks a little bit of experience in this matchup, and he didn't really know what I was playing, he was like, okay, in response to the trigger, Thraben Charm. Now I call a judge over because I'm asking the judge, is the trigger goes on a stack, so do I still shuffle my deck? He says, after looking it up and stuff like that it does happen, that I still shuffle my deck, but obviously the Emrakul is exile, which I didn't care about that. But that actually won me the game because I was able to exile the Emrakul, go through the breach, Ulamog, win the game. Basically, I wiped his board, and then I drew another breach through the breach the next turn, put Emrakul and play that I had in my hand, win the game. Game 2 was very, very interesting. So he goes to 5, I go to 6. And I can see my life total here. It's 20, 19, 16, 13, 4, 2. And he ends up at 15. Mostly just fetching himself. So again, the game plan is kind of sweep everything up, stay alive, Kozilek's Command. And I get a Kozilek's Command to where I can basically up to the mana where I can hard cast an Ulamog. Hard cast an Ulamog, and I'm at 4. And then I believe I play a Disruptor Flute. I played a Disruptor Flute beforehand, I think. And I put it on, what's that name? Oh, no, I'm sorry, that's not true. Okay, I'm sorry. So there was a turn where I used Stellaria West because I had surveilled a Chalice of the Void on top of my library. And because I had just swept his board or something, I was like, okay, yeah, I don't want that card. So I'll search for a Chalice so that I can draw a free card. Right? So in my upkeep, I search for a Chalice. This is after I play Ulamog. I play Ulamog and wiped his board with a flashback Cosmos Return. And so I cast Stellaria West in my upkeep, get the Chalice, put the Chalice on 1, and then pass because he still has a Johnny and the Cat in my Ulamog, even though I exiled 22 cards, only has 3 counters on it. And he has plenty of permanents to sacrifice and kill me on the crackback, right? So I put it on 1. I pass a turn. I have through the breach Emrakul the next turn. So I would win the game. And he goes attack with both creatures. And so my thought process was, okay, once he attacked, I know he has something in hand. What am I playing around? And so I'm thinking if I block the Ajani, it doesn't transform. If he has Flage, I die either way, right? I die either way, how I block. But if it's not Flage and it's a red permanent, like he had Fable the Mirror Breaker, he had a lot of different permanents in his. Like, okay, I'm a little worried about that. So let me just block the Ajani. I block the Ajani, I go to 2, and then he Molten Rains one of my lands to kill me. So it was a very good play by him. It is what it is. I also knew his hand here too at some point because of Thought Knot here. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's not true. That's game 3. So game 3, I'm going to play again. We both keep 7. And to be fair, honestly, I play it early enough Thought Knot here, and I just kind of beat him down with Thought Knot here. And then eventually get to the point where, like I said, killing everything, wiping the board again. I get to the point where I'm able to cast Breach with Emrakul, 19 him, win the game. So even though kind of got good played, kind of outplayed or outsmarted game 2, bounced back and win on the play. So finals, the last round, playing against Bruce Gale, playing against a guy named Travis, who's local to me. He plays at my local shop. And game 1, I believe, I mulligan 2. And my hand is it's okay. It's Eldrazi Temple, Cosmos Command, and a bunch of spells. I just need to draw a land, and I'm fine. I also have Devour, my top 4 non-lands, right? Have to get rid of them. Draw a non-land, and then I just concede the game. He had double Fleshraker in hand. He was going to be able to play both Fleshrakers and do a whole bunch of crap to me. Yeah, right? So whatever. Game 2, I want to play. This was the number 1 seed. That's why I started on the draw. Game 2, I pretty much think I exiled. Yeah, I exiled a Flesh Raker. I remember that with Complex Command, and then I'm able to just combo off. Like they can't stop me from comboing off. I exiled the Emrakul, Ulamog 22, like Taylor Swift. You out of there. I even think I played Disruptor Flute and like lock down the Blade of the Blood Chief, whatever it's called. But basically, it doesn't matter. I basically just do enough to just like make them not do anything and then just kill them. They also mulligan a 6 that game. Game 3, we both mulligan a 6. My hand is solid. It's a little slow, but I thought his hand was a little slow. I believe I had Fetch Land Basic Blue in hand. And the issue with this game is that I don't draw a double land ever, and I have things to pitch to it. And then also I was just a little bit too slow, and that's really what happened. I was just slow, and then like they killed me right before. So they had Saga. They get to the point where they have like Flesh Raker in play. They play Blue Scale. They Saga get Blood Chief or the Blade of the Blood, whatever it's called. And then I already had a Disruptor Flute on that. On the turn that they kill me, they cast Nature's Claim. And then they also showed me at the end of the game, because then they were able to combo off, right? They equipped, they combo off, because they floated a man off a Saga in the last chapter after they got, to get the blade. And then they Nature's Claim me, and then make a billion dudes. I take a billion life because of that. And I lose a game, and I had lethal the next turn. I had to cast stock up on a turn before I died, to do anything. If I just draw double land there, I win the game. So a little frustrating, making it to the finals and losing in 3. Especially to a matchup that I think is pretty good for me. And that was the best I've done with this deck this season, and the best I've done this season. So a little tough, especially with things going on right now. I don't know how many more RCQs I'm going to hit, even though I have a whole list of them up there you guys can't see, but little tough. Little tough for me. But with that being said, I'm proud of my run. I think I played very well. And, excuse me. Yeah, I think I played very well, and I think this deck performed very well. Shout out to having the first round bye, which is always really good, but I think that this is what this deck is built for, right? This deck is built for these kind of meta games. And before I get too deep, let me just talk about how I sideboarded for that matchup. 3 consigns come in. Untiling Malfunction comes in. Brother Satan comes in. Thought Knots here can come in. Disruptive Flute's definitely coming in, and then Biting's coming in. I definitely trimmed down to one of these. Maybe all 3 came out. I cut a Devourer actually because it doesn't kill anything in the matchup. And I think I cut some Talismans and maybe a stock up. I definitely cut Beseiju too. Beseiju definitely came out. I think at least 2 to 3 of these came out. 1 Devourer came out. Some amount of Talismans came out, and I think maybe a stock up. But anyway, if the metagame is going to be heavy creature based, like Brute Scale or Boros Energy and stuff like that, the non-blue decks, and you can kind of avoid the blue decks, especially Murktide, you have a legit shot. And my opponent said, "Oh, I think Breach loses to itself." It wasn't that I lost to myself. I just didn't. I drew like Emrakul once or twice in game 3 after I already had both Emrakul and Ulamog in play, and I just didn't draw enough fast mana or 2 mana spells, like the 2 mana Uglin's Labyrinth, and that's just what it is. Like that's not really losing to yourself. I had the combo the next turn, right? So it's just we had plenty of time to figure it out. His hand was slow too, so. To me personally, like Bruce Scale loses to itself. If you want to use that argument, so it wasn't that. I'm super competitive and I hate losing. It's always tough, but I was happy with the run. Got some store credit, and that's pretty much it. So hopefully I can play July 5th, but I'm not too sure. Like I said, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes right now. Trying to get my car situation figured out, which I'm not going to get into the details about that. But, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. And so I'm going to keep battling with this deck. Maybe I'll play something different if I feel like it. But I like the fact that there was just so many times where I had free wins and there was games that I didn't like. I don't have to grind that much. It's just like being able to go 2-0, 2-0 against people is just like crazy. You know what I mean? So very good performance. A little soul crushing, or not just soul crushing, but a little bit disappointed that I couldn't pull it out, especially when I forced a game 3 and I felt very confident. And this was a little bit lucky to draw. Like that was the worst my deck drew in one game. I drew very well. I drew pretty well, or even as average, and I was still crushing people. So I can't complain too much. I am proud of this deck. I'm proud of the performance. I think I played very well, and the cookie crumbled the way it did. So yeah. If you guys are interested in trying this deck, definitely take it for a ride. And let me know in the comments how you guys fare. If you guys have any questions, I've been playing this deck a lot this season, so not saying I'm an expert, but I do kind of understand things more and more, and have my opinions on certain cards being in the deck and stuff. But I can understand people having different sideboard plans and stuff like that. But I do think if you want to be kind of not all in per se, but like definitely have a very good game 1 combo against decks that especially aren't good against combo decks, I think this is the version you want to play. I also think that you're a little bit more resilient against blue decks because you have Besage, Utiliria West, you have the Disruptor Flute in the sideboards, you have Thought Knot Sears, you have Idrisil, which is so good. I think that kind of solidifies you in those matches a little bit better than others. Obviously, Frog is still a problem, but you're good against Eldrazi, you're good against Boros, you're good against any like random jank deck or just basic creature deck. The decks you struggle in against are super fast combo decks, but you still have a chance of beating them. You got to just understand what you're looking for. And like blue decks, like blue Murktide decks are tough, but Frog are tough. So thank you guys for joining me, man. I really do appreciate it. I'm sorry about last week. I posted one video. Again, a lot of things are going on at home, and I'm just trying to get some things figured out. Nothing too crazy. Just trying to get things figured out, and got a lot of making a lot of phone calls and a lot of things on the business side, a lot of things that are personal life things. So I do apologize for that. This week should be a lot better. Obviously this video is going to be coming to you guys today or tomorrow, I guess I should say. So it'll be a lot better. Quality, everything's going to be back to where it needs to be. But I thank you guys for rocking with me, man. I thank you guys for viewing me, subscribing, liking, commenting. I really do appreciate it. It really does help. And man, let's grow. Let's get to 200. Let's get to 200, and let's get to our next milestone, our next goal. But yeah, if you like it, like the content, you enjoy what you're seeing, you enjoy what you're watching, you want to keep help see me get better and finally get that RCQ win, definitely hit the subscribe button, man. Like and comment, share, whatever you want to do. Love you guys, man. Appreciate you guys for joining me, man. DB3 MTG is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I really do appreciate you guys. So thank you so much for that. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Check you later. Oh, and remember, sling spells and break dreams.